Hey everyone, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. Guys, I have just watched the first episode of RuPaul's Drag Race UK Season 6, and there's some stuff that I want to get into about Drag Race as a whole, the whole show. This video, it's really not meant as hate to any of the queens that are on the show currently, or like past UK seasons necessarily, or anything like that. You know, no hate to you if you are a super fan of Drag Race or anything like that. There's just some stuff that I want to talk about that I think we need to talk about when we talk about the RuPaulification of drag, with Drag Race being such a huge juggernaut that it is now, with all the international franchises that are quite overwhelming to keep up with for the audiences at the moment. I think when Drag Race started in 2009, it was like a low budget, campy sort of Project Runway type of a show that was a bit of fun. It wasn't taking itself too seriously, it wasn't overproduced. It was just kind of funny with the whole sort of Vaseline over the camera lens, that season 1 filter that everyone jokes about. It was a bit of fun. Then with every new season of the show, you've got more sponsors, like ABH, Anastasia Beverly Hills Cosmetics sponsoring, the cosmetics prizes in the show, and, other brands sponsoring the show and things like this. And it's like, okay, well, we all know this is capitalism. As soon as something becomes more popular, brands, companies start to jump on it. Oh, we'll sponsor you, we'll do this with you, we'll work with you. It's going to happen. And then, there's all the forced drama to keep the show exciting, for the viewers. The contrived drama, the forced conversations where you can tell production have had a hand in it and been like, oh, go and say something to this queen, go and ask them about this. Something that they know is going to stir up some drama, some controversy, to make the girls fight. There's always that. And okay, we get it. It's reality TV. So it is, television. They want to make good television. So of course, all the contrived drama happens. And then it kind of doesn't really represent what you see in the clubs when you go to watch drag shows. It's not really about drama, in a sense of like people bitching at each other. Drama on stage, all of that. Yeah, great, but it's not people being bitchy to each other. And yeah, we're all guilty of sitting there watching it going, oh yeah, this is good drama, this is good TV, we all do that. And then there's other stuff as well, like where you have things like queens that have been forced to change their name to be more palatable for the show. So like Alaska Thunderfuck, for example, was made to change her name. You've got Crystal Will See You Now. Now, Crystal, I knew Crystal in the clubs as Crystal Beth. So, like, you're taking this away from the artists, their original creativity, their original names, taking this away from them to make them more palatable for a TV show that shouldn't really be about being palatable, I think. Since when does drag have to be about being palatable? Drag was punk. Why do we have to make people palatable just because it's on a TV show? And I can't sit here and make this video without talking about RuPaul and the transphobic comments that RuPaul made in 2018. There was a Guardian interview in 2018 where Ru was asked about trans women competing on Drag Race. Ru said something at the time to the effect of, oh, I don't think people who've had breast augmentation and stuff like that, who are, post-op trans women, should be allowed to compete on the show. Ru at the time viewed that like cheating. There was a lot of backlash when Ru made those comments in The Guardian. A lot of backlash online from fans of the show, from drag artists, from trans women. There was a lot of backlash. People calling RuPaul transphobic. I find the comments that RuPaul made in 2018 to be really problematic, because if you go back to season 2 of Drag Race, you had Sonique competing. And if you guys remember the reunion of season 2, if you haven't seen that, The reunion of season 2, Sonique came out and said, you know, I'm not just a drag queen, I'm a transgender woman. So Ru did have to end up apologising for the transphobic comments, walking it back. Because of course we know now that Sonique actually did compete in a season of All Stars. Of course you've had Gia Gunn come back, compete on All Stars. You've had Jinx come back, compete on All Stars. You know, other people who transitioned have been on the show. You've had Gottmik as well. So, you know, why did RuPaul need to make those transphobic comments in 2018? And for somebody like RuPaul to make those transphobic comments in the first place, it was shocking. Like, nobody expected that from RuPaul. I remember all the backlash at the time. It was crazy. There was so much backlash about RuPaul doesn't want boobs on Drag Race. And it's like he still doesn't. Because if you think about RuPaul's original transphobic comments, where does that stem from? Misogyny. It was Ru saying, I don't want people with, you know, real boobs or breast augmentations on Drag Race. And for him to say that, that just comes from a misogynistic place, if you ask me. The dictionary definition of misogyny, what is it? Well, it is dislike of, contempt for, or ingrained prejudice against women. Now, I might be completely barking up the wrong tree here, but I don't think I am. I think that it's still lesbophobic as well. I think RuPaul's Drag Race is still lesbophobic. Yes, okay, so we've had like Pandora Knox, who's won Drag Race Germany. And Pandora is somebody who really speaks out about women doing drag, about the fact that women can do drag, you know, somebody who speaks out against misogyny against her. She's often speaking out about it on Instagram, TikTok, you know, I see it.
I'm not stealing attention, I'm getting attention because I'm doing good drag, first of all. Second of all, what is the definition of a real drag queen, in your opinion? Having a penis or identifying as a cis male? Let me get this straight, even though I'm not. Drag is art, art is for everyone, and drag is not about gender. And it's also, for example, about breaking gender roles. So putting gender roles on an art form, which is also based on breaking them, just doesn't make sense. What I love most about this last thing, then I finished, that it's always the less successful ones who are hating on people who are having their life or like their career or whatever. So I would recommend for you, use your time wisely and focus on yourself. Maybe you will have a great life and a great career as well. And now I have to go on stage because my career is awesome. Thank you.
Now, I love me some Pandora Knox. I'm a huge fan, you know, and then you've got Liam Chocolate as well, her partner and fiance as well. They're awesome, you know, what they do. Like Liam, I saw just the other day, Liam was modelling in Fashion Week as well. So we had a drag king going down a runway for Fashion Week, you know, but we can't have a drag king on Drag Race. But the cis male performers who go on Drag Race are allowed to dress up in drag king drag for Snatch Game, which totally doesn't make any sense to me. You know, if you can have cis male performers or, you know, drag queens dress up like drag kings for Snatch Game, why can't you just put drag kings on Drag Race? It doesn't make any sense to me. It's so backwards. Then, as well as Pandora, of course, you've got Victoria Scone, who was on UK Drag Race first of all, got injured, and then went to compete on Canada versus the World. Went really far on Canada versus the World. Go on, Vic. Awesome. But, you know, both Pandora and Victoria are both white. You know, we've seen no POC female performers. So it's like, okay, you kind of just, you know, doing that thing where you put one token woman in here, one token woman in there. So to me, it's still very anti-woman. Still in 2024, still lesbophobic, still misogynistic, still not casting drag kings. And then the other kind of problems that I want to talk about within Drag Race is this week, there's also been somebody else who came forward about Shangela, who first competed on season 3 of Drag Race. Now, Shangela, I don't know if you're aware, but Shangela's got many essay allegations out against her. And somebody else came forward this week. It's a sixth person.
I wanted to do a little story time and get something off my chest. Last weekend, I was out in West Hollywood with some friends at a restaurant, and I saw the person who sexually assaulted me getting sat on the back patio. So I took a moment, took a beat, gathered myself, and went up to his table and let him know, hey, I know what you did, and you know what you did, and I believe all those boys' stories, referring to the Rolling Stone article about them. He looked me in the eye and he said, I'm sorry you feel that way. So a little backstory. In 2017, I was a PA on the set of Hurricane Bianca 2. I'd gone out with the cast and crew a handful of times, very excited to be around these popular drag queens and on set, in New York City. It wasn't until we had finished wrapping and I went out with this one queen one-on-one that I had this isolated experience where I came to in a hotel room with them and another person having sex with me. I don't remember getting there. I don't remember where it was. I don't remember if this person was an escort, hiring them. And that night I was made to feel like, oh, you wanted this, but you wanted this. I also remember that night telling them, well, that felt a lot like work. Basically, if you're gonna treat me like a whore, pay me like a whore. This happened, I compartmentalized, swept it under the rug, and it wasn't until the Rolling Stone article came out and I saw that there's so many other instances of sexual assault from this person. And so many people's stories were so similar to mine. And then, I can't avoid them on social media. Even if I block this person, they're gonna show up on a For You feed, or, they were just at a ceremony for a bar in West Hollywood being marked as a safe space, hugging up on the owner. And so, to the person who said, I'm sorry you feel that way. DJ, I'm sorry you feel the way that you do. I'm sorry that you are comfortable going into our career spaces and that every place you go into, you kind of threaten the safety of the space. I'm sorry that your name is going to be synonymous for the deeds, and all the projects you've had the opportunity of being on are going to be tarnished. I'm sorry that you are not on a path of atonement and that whatever's happening with you is just festering. And I'm really sorry to all of the victims, to everyone whose body you violated. I'm sorry if they're not believed. I'm sorry if their trauma is being overshadowed by your popularity. So, I'm sorry.
That was one person's story, and I can't get into everything that Shangela did in this video because I'll get demonetized. But what I will do is pop up the Rolling Stone article that person was talking about right here. I've read it myself and it's grim. It is really grim. There are some really, really awful accusations in there, some horrible things. So if you're triggered about that, be warned. But that's the article if you want to go and read it for yourself so that you can see everything that Shangela's accused of. There's accusations about things that Shangela did on the set of We Are Here as well. It's a lot. It's an awful lot. But I think it's well worth a read, just so that you're aware of what the accusations are and what Shangela's done. I mean, I'm saying it's what Shangela's done because there are court documents, and there was also another girl who was cut from Drag Race UK season 5, I believe it was. It was Crystal Lubricant. Now, Crystal Lubricant is someone who I used to see quite a lot on social media years ago, and she was rumoured on Reddit to be on a season of Drag Race UK, and then it came out that somebody had been cut from this cast. It turned out that it was Crystal Lubricant. Somebody has actually come forward on social media and spoken out about Crystal Lubricant, what they did. So I'm going to pop that clip in here. It's not my story to tell, so I don't want to tell the story for them. I'm going to let them do it in their words.
Stop congratulating people for getting on this fucking show. It is ludicrous. If it wasn't oppressive already, the antics of last series and the whole BTS. Did you not know? Did you not know that they cast Crystal Lubricant for season 5? and they cut her because she's a sexual predator. Did you know that? No, of course you didn't. And people aren't going to hold this show accountable. They're not going to call it what it is. They're not going to name the shit that happens because they want the boutique and they want the gigs. So the victims of people like that and anyone who doesn't fit the eligibility criteria, we're the ones who have to deal with the knock-on effect of you all continuing to endorse this. Absolute bullshit. I'm going to the beach. Actually, I'm not going to the beach. Look at that. It's fucking raining in Barcelona, and I feel like the announcement of Drag Race season fucking 6 is what's made it piss down with rain. Thank you so much for just triggering everyone that is not eligible or anyone who desires to be on that show. I had no plans to turn on set on here. Actually, I had no plans to bring that up or talk about that, but that show sends me spiraling. And I can completely understand why. It's bullshit. And the only thing more upsetting than seeing the show on again and seeing all these people on the show is seeing all of you lot who are not on the show continuing to watch it, to support it, and then saying stuff like you support trans people, you support people who are assumed female at birth, you support people who are survivors. Like, no, you fucking don't. You just want to whack on BBC iPlayer and watch some people in wigs do that.
So yeah, that's my problem with Drag Race. You know, they're casting people who've got victims now, apparently. It's like, it's difficult to want to sit down and enjoy the show and get into it when you know that. When people have been affected by people who've been casted on the show, it's really difficult for me to get into the show and be like, oh wow, yeah, I'm gonna kick back and enjoy this season. You know what I mean? Yeah. Anyway, I know that's not like a nice, happy, jolly topic to finish on, but I am going to finish this one here because it's getting hella long. And I will see you guys on the next one. Take care. Stay safe. Stay well. Bye.